Good morning and welcome to the recording of the home-based meetup for SchoolNet that happened February 6th through 9th. The slide deck for today is going to be linked in the video below, but you can also see it here at bit.ly/ all caps HBMU SNFEB. All right, so again, welcome. Thank you to those of you that were able to come to home base meetups in person, and thank you to those that are watching it after the fact. My name is Rebecca Stokes. I am the product manager for SchoolNet with NCDPI, and I'm so thankful that you are here with us today. So our agenda for today, we're going to talk about some updates from NCDPI, SchoolNet content updates, as well as state assessments available, including some new options. We're also going to talk about technology enhanced items in SchoolNet with the latest news of TEI questions being on 3 through 8 EOGs for ELA and math. And then we would, of course, have talked about some possible opt-in options that were coming up, and then any questions. But if you have any questions from this recording, you can please feel free to reach out to me through email, and I'll be happy to answer those questions. All right, so first is the updates. The first thing is that you want to make sure that you check your school's leads for SchoolNet. You can also check for NESIS and SIS as well. But when you click on this link here in the presentation, it's going to take you here. And if you are a PSU, you would click on district leads. And then if you are a charter, you'll click on charter leads. But you'll just click here and it's going to show the districts on the left-hand side. And it's going to show the SIS and NESIS. But if you click this plus sign here, then it's going to drop down and show the leads for the other products as well. So if you will just check to make sure that those are correct. And if they are not correct, if you could email Jennifer Causey and myself with those updates so that we can make sure that you are getting the correct information for SchoolNet. During the summer, when we send out our feature survey, we send it to the lead and backup. And also anytime any bulletins are sent out about upcoming updates or other important information, I always send it to the lead and backup for them to share out with the district. So please make sure that those are the correct contacts. And also here is my email address for any questions that you might have from today's session as well. All right, if you are a new admin or if you have been an admin for SchoolNet and just need some refreshers, we do have the admin guide linked here that will pop open and it's going to go through 6 pages of just some getting started in SchoolNet. So you can go through and just see different things that you'll need to know as a SchoolNet admin. Additionally, if we go back here, if you are a new if you are a new SchoolNet lead, we do have a Canvas course for you. It is not something that you are actively like participating in, giving, submitting questions or anything like that. It's pretty much just a landing page for helpful documents and processes throughout the year in SchoolNet. So you can enroll here. Again, if you are a current admin but are not a part of this Canvas course, then I encourage you to join here. And then, of course, if you are a new admin or backup, then, of course, we encourage you to enroll as well. Also, we have a beginner's SchoolNet course in Canvas. So this would be a great course for any new teachers that come to your district that have not used the platform before, or anyone in your district that needs a refresher course if they haven't used it, or they just have some general questions about the basics of SchoolNet. This is a great course for them to go through. It is self-paced, walking them through the process of item creation, or not item creation, but test creation, reporting basics, and just a very basics course through SchoolNet. So we encourage you to share this out for others to enroll as well. We recently had a SchoolNet update to version 24.1. We do have the release notes here of the changes that were made. The biggest one that has affected PSUs is the update to images. So if they had an assessment from last year that is no longer publishing, it's more than likely because of images. So prior to this update, you could copy and paste images into the rich content editor in SchoolNet, and you can no longer do that. An image has to be uploaded. It's very simple. You just click the picture upload icon, and you can upload that picture. But if the questions from the previous year's assessment were copied and pasted, it will no longer allow it to be published. So if you have any questions or how to fix this, then please feel free to email me and I'll be happy to walk you through that. And then any other questions about this update, but you can see the release notes here. Okay, we always want to make sure you are aware that you have access to the SchoolNet training site. We do have it linked here as well as a link to logins, but we have also added it to the splash page. So if you are in a leadership role, then you will see on your splash page, I have a picture of it here. This is what your splash page looks like. And if you're not sure of where a splash page is, let me show you. Oops. Mix those letters up. So when you log into SchoolNet, the splash page is located right here in the top right corner. So when you are, there we go. So when you are at your splash page, then you will see the training site at the very bottom. It's going to give you a link to the training site and then as well as training site logins. So we give you teacher logins, school leader logins, and district leader logins. So if you have anyone that is wanting to test something out in SchoolNet before wanting to actually put it in production, then you can use the training site. Anytime your district is giving SchoolNet training, you of course can use the training site then. And you can even use the training site for students because we have students in the training site. So you would just go into a teacher account and you can see student logins if you wanted your students to practice in the training site as well. All right, so more splash page news while we're here. We have started linking the upcoming webinars on the splash page. So you would be able to see like February 13th, we did a webinar, so that is linked there, as well as ones that we have upcoming in March and April. Those are going to be linked on the splash page for you to be able to click on and register. Okay, we're gonna, I already talked about the self-paced courses in Canvas. Those are also linked on the splash page, and those are there for teachers as well as leadership roles. But now we're gonna talk about content. And so I'm gonna skip ahead and then come back to this. All right, so we just received new content on January 20th. You can see here the items that are in the classroom bank, how many questions per grade level and subject were added, as well as questions for the benchmark bank. And if you have a teacher or a district leader that only wants to search for the new content, I'm going to show you how you can do this by the search date. So if we go back to the training site, so anytime you are looking for just new content, when you come over to your assessments and you are trying to find questions to add to a test, or if you create the test first and you click to add items from an item bank, then this is going to be the same screen that it shows for you. Now, before I select any of my banks or subject or grade level, anything like that, I'm going to come down to filters and I'm going to scroll down And right here where it says date last modified, that is where you can put that search by date. So it was January 20th, and then I can click apply filters, and it's going to filter this down to only the new content. So this is for someone that uses SchoolNet frequently and only wants to pull questions from the new upload. Now, it was requested at home-based meetups that we put these search dates somewhere so that you don't have to remember which slide deck to go to then try to find what these search dates are. So what we did was we added it to the splash page. So you'll see where it says SchoolNet content. So if you click on that link, it's actually going to pull up a document that we will update as we get new content, but it's going to show you not only the search date to search by and the number of content items, but it's going to give you the ones from the previous two as well. So you can see this was our fall upload that we received, and you can search by that date. And then we also have the one from last spring, the items that we received as well. So that is going to constantly update as we get new content, but this way you have those search dates readily available on your splash page for you. All right. So we always share our data in SchoolNet, so you can see our total tests submitted as of December. We have close to 4 million assessments submitted, which is about where we were last year as well. You can see our Canvas submitted assessments, as well as our state benchmark test submissions. All right, so let's just review the state assessments. So these are recommended to PSUs. So you have your beginning of year and end of year math sets from 3rd grade up through Math 1. We do have the released math and science, and you can see here like which is 3rd grade through Math 1 and 3, and then science we have 5th, 8th, and biology. You can see the NCFEs that we have, as well as the Certica assessments. So remember that these are recommended to PSUs to someone who has district admin rights. So someone with leadership level at the PSU would go in and be able to recommend these to teachers or courses, and then they would assign them to their classes. So teachers cannot see these state assessments. Only someone with district admin rights can see these to then recommend it to teachers or courses. New this year, or new for this home-based meetup, we do have demonstrated credit mastery assessments for 8th graders. This was also requested from a district. So anytime you have a request of something that you think would be beneficial, please feel free to reach out and ask. If it is something we are able to do, then we are happy to do that for you. So we now have demonstrated credit mastery specifically for 8th grade, because these assessments were originally just for 9th through 12th, and now 8th graders could take these assessments for that first part of demonstrated credit mastery. So again, just like the state assessments, only someone with district admin rights can see these and can recommend it to the teachers that have that course that the student is in that would need to use this for the demonstrated credit mastery. Okay, so just as a review of how you can get to these. So again, only if you have district admin rights, you can go to your assessment dashboard, go to your recommended test, and then you would see a list of the assessments. You can click view all to view all of them, and then you would click on the assessment to be able to assign it. So from here, so let's say you were looking at the Release Science Grade 8, you would go to your Edit Schedule and Settings button here, and then it's going to show Assign to Students, but that's going to be grayed out because district admins cannot assign directly to students, but you can recommend it to teachers, or you can recommend it to a school. So you can either apply the default assignment. So it's kind of hard to see because of this red box, but the default assignment, what it's going to do if you're recommending to schools is it's going to search for any course that is the grade level of the test and the subject. So this says 13 courses of life and physical science, grade 8, in all schools in the district. So you can either apply that default assignment and it'll automatically assign it to those 13 courses, or recommend it, excuse me, or you can select assignment and just click which courses you want it to be recommended to. Okay, so for NCFE and release test, if your PSU responded to the feature survey over the summer to have these scheduled directly to courses, then you actually don't have to do anything. The teacher can view these in their test management tab. I'll show you where that is. And go home. So when a teacher is on their homepage, they can see their classroom assessment monitor, and their test management would be right here. So any assessment that has been recommended is going to show here for the teachers, but this is only if you asked that Pearson schedule these two courses. If you said no, that you did not want Pearson to do that, then you would have to go through these steps that we showed here. Teachers can view these assessments in their upcoming test management tab of the classroom assessment monitor, where they would be able to see all the ones that they have already given this school year, and then they would be able to see the ones that have been recommended to them as well. Okay, so for the math sets and the Certica testlets and the ELA testlets, teachers can access these recommended tests from the assessment dashboard. These are, if they go to their assessment dashboard and go to their recommended test, then they would be able to find all of those, or they can change this to state benchmark and change their grade level and subject, and then, then they would be able to see those, and then they can assign it to their class. So these are not the secured ones. So these are already recommended to teachers. All right, just a reminder for CTE that we do have the IP11 certification course in or assessment in SchoolNet. So we do have 3 attempts there. This again is someone with district admin rights would have to go in and assign it to those courses that are trying to use the IP11 certification. Those have been recommended to the PSUs and charters that have that course. So if you are a PSU or district that does have the IP11 course, but you do not see this IP11 certification course listed in your recommended test, then please put in a ServiceNow ticket, and Catherine or Amanda will be able to help you with getting that recommended to your district. All right, so technology enhanced items in SchoolNet. So what we've done is we have created this correlation document from the technology enhanced items that are going to be on the EOG and EOC to the names of the items in SchoolNet. So if you click on this document, it's actually going to pop out and give you a larger document. So on the left, you will see all of the names of the EOC and EOG item type name. And then in the middle, you will see the correlation to a SchoolNet question. So of course, multiple choice, that stayed the same, but numeric entry on EOC and EOGs is called a gridded question in SchoolNet. And then on the right-hand side, we also have put what item bank that you would be able to find this question in. So we do have correlations for all of these except for text selection. So text selection is the question where the screen is divided into 3 parts. There's a list here, so let's just say this item type correlation, that is what is in the question. When a student clicks on, let's say, this T right here, it's going to gray out this T and it's going to pop the T down below in that 3rd section. So SchoolNet does not have anything that is going to move an item to another part of the screen, like the text selection question does. We do have a hotspot question where it will put a blue border around what is selected by the student, but it does not move it to another part of the screen, which is why I have that we do not have a direct correlation, because it just wasn't similar enough for me to say that it correlated. But all of the other ones we do have a correlation to, as well as where they are found. And if you scroll down on this document, you can see the description for the item types. But if you click this link here at the bottom, then it's actually going to give you those item bank counts. So we have all of the item banks listed below, and then you can see all of the grade levels as well as subjects, for how many questions of that type is in that grade level and subject. Go back here. Also with TEI correlations or TEI questions in SchoolNet, we did show how you can show teachers how to filter these. So I'm actually going to go to the training site for this. So if you are on the training site or in production for you, and you are going to find questions, then instead of where earlier we used the filter to filter by date, what you would do is you would click filter and you would select the type of technology enhanced items that you wanted. So we could choose gridded, inline. Remember, the hotspot are the ones that are similar, but not exactly the same with the, let's see, it was the text selection. That was the name of that one. So you can do drag and drop, gap match, graphic gap match, and if you still wanted hotspot, then you could select those. And let's see, let me go back here, make sure I got them all. Oh, I forgot open response. And open response. And then you would click apply filters, and it's going to filter it down to only those technology enhanced questions. And then you can select your subject, grade level, and standards. Or if you were just wanting students to practice and you weren't necessarily worried that it was on whatever standard you were working on that week, then you can just select by subject and grade, just to have them practice the assessments or the assessment items. Okay. Also, we had a webinar in January on technology enhanced items in SchoolNet. So this is a link to the slide deck, and then we also have a link to the recorded webinar. In this webinar, we did show all of the different item types, but we also showed how to convert a current multiple choice question and convert it into a technology enhanced item. So that if a teacher felt like they did not have content to the particular standard they were teaching at that time and they wanted them to practice technology enhanced, then they could take a question that is currently multiple choice and convert it into a technology enhanced item. So we did show how to do that in this webinar. So I did link those here. Please feel free to share that with your teachers. Okay. Also, we did talk about our upcoming webinars in our webinar series. So Catherine and I do a webinar every month. We did do 2 in January. And so we have worked through data reporting in November. We talked about Transcend in December. We did a basics in SchoolNet in January, and then we also added in technology enhanced items in January. We just finished our one for February, which was item banks. But then in March, we're going to talk about learner profiles. April is a all things SchoolNet. And then May, we're going to do another technology enhanced item as we get closer to EOGs and EOCs. You can register through this link here, but also they are on the splash page. And you can click that registration link at either place to be able to register. Okay. And we did talk about some possible upcoming opt-in options pending board approval. that were at the live session. So be on the lookout for more information about that, hopefully coming soon. Okay, and then just to review SchoolNet support, if you are a SchoolNet lead or backup, then you should have access to ServiceNow, which is how you put in a help ticket with Pearson. If you do not know what ServiceNow is and you are the lead or backup, please email and let me know so that we can get you access. Pearson does want to remind you that they do not have access to PowerSchool or Canvas. So if you get an issue where it says a student is not registered or it's saying that a student is not in a course, then you would want to reach out to me directly with that because Pearson cannot access PowerSchool. Okay, so just a review of our current home-based team. If you need any support with any of these things, whether it is SIS or Canvas or Learning.com, Nisus, then you can click on these people's names and it will automatically link you to their email address. Okay, and then we had our feedback form for home-based meetups, but you don't have to worry about that if you are watching the recorded session. But we thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you in May.